Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're a returning visitor, I'm really glad that you're back. In today's video, we are going to talk about something new in After Effects. I'm really excited about this latest update because basically you can send your texture 3D models from Substance 3D Painter to directly to After Effects, and you can create really fun animations with it inside of After Effects. So you don't need any other application for that. So let's dive into it. So here we are in Substance 3D Painter. If you checked out my YouTube channel lately, then you can find another video about how I texture this 3D model. It's a detailed 20 minutes tutorial how you can work with Adobe Illustrator files and different layers. But for now, we are ready with this texturing. So I'm super happy how it turned out. We have all kind of interesting details. And what you can do in Painter is that you can send your files to After Effects, and let's just save this as a different file, or maybe we'll change the cap color just to something different, or just to make it different than the other ones. Then we will name it like save as, and then we will save it as new folder bottle. Let's save it as bottle blue cap. It's really creative. And then we can send the file to After Effects. So let's see, send to After Effects. And when we jump to After Effects, then here we can see our model, and then we can work with it. What we can do is that we can just create a new composition, and we can select a couple of things. I don't really change anything right now, but here is our little bottle with the blue cap, and it's just 1%, so you can absolutely like scale it up and work with it as a 3D model. Oh, let's see. So here we go. This is the bottle, and we have all kind of transformation handles for this bottle that I don't know why I don't see right now. So anyway, this is a GLB file, and basically we have all kind of all the options that we have about 2D layers, that we can animate these 3D layers with a rotation and all sorts of things, scale, opacity, everything. I quickly want to show you how it works in another composition that I already set up. I think it's easier to explain it like that. Vampire will come later, that's also really interesting. So basically I set up this little banner for this animated banner for my project, and let's see what we have in this scene, and one by one. So we can work with HDRI lights in After Effects, and how we can get one. For example, we can go to Substance 3D Assets, and we can just find an HDRI light, and we can just download one of them that we like. This is exactly what I've been doing, and I selected this light. It's called Studio White Cosmetic Symmetrical Light because it has these really nice light stripes in it, and I needed this for my bottle to show the surface and the details. So as you can see, I have an environment light in my scene. You can add one, you can go to layer, new light, and then you just have to change the light type to environment light. And what is very important is you have to check this cast shadows box. You have to check this box, so you will have shadows in your scene. And when you go to your environment light, in the properties you can select this environment light that you just drag in the scene. So you just have to drag this light into the composition, and then you can just select it as a source for your environment light. And then you can rotate the light. Oh yeah, not in this scene, or is it in this scene? Oh no, we are in a different scene. Oh, sorry. So in this scene, you can rotate the light. Here we go. And you can see that the light is changing now. So this is how you can basically animate this light. And you can try different environment lights in your scene and work with them, and they can give a really like a different feel to any kind of scene. So when you want to blend a model together with the background, which for example have warmer colors, then you can just add another environment light to your scene. So I wanted to add these animated backgrounds to my scene, and you can find them in this Maxon Studio window, and then you can download them. They're called capsules. And basically I just used one of these this wavy background in my scene. You just have to basically click on apply and it's going to load into your composition, but we don't need this right now. So here we go. And I just basically dropped them in my scene and just turned on the CD layer, and then with the little handles you can turn them around. The only thing I had to change is in the material options. You have to check that it accepts shadows. Otherwise, it's not gonna accept shadows. So here you can see that it doesn't really show any shadows. And when you turn this on, and it works the same on any layer basically. Here you can see this is how this animation looks like. And then you can in the this Maxon Studio window you can like change the other color properties and everything. It's really nice. So the next thing that that I added to my scene is a camera, and just to check out the camera properties I went for the 135 millimeters, and I did not really change anything else on my camera settings. And what I always do is that I always add a null object to my camera. So I just pick with my my camera to this null object, so I can move around with it easily. So that's why I have a null object in my scene, if anybody was wondering. So this is how the file is set up at this moment, and basically you have to add the environment light and the camera to the scene where you have your 3D models, otherwise they are not going to be affected by it. So you can pre-compose this this 3D model, and you can like pre-compose test, but then you will see that this is not affected anymore by these lights. So you have to go into the composition where the model is and add your lights in there as well. So and now you can see that it's affected by the light. Now we have these nice little handles. So basically you can see that with these handles you can animate your models, and I basically just animated the position and position and rotation keyframes to create this little slide-in animation. And the only thing I changed is the speed. So it has this little oomph at the beginning, and then it slows down. So this is how it looks right now. I think it's a really fun little slide in. And the next thing that I want to show you, which is I think very important to know about, that you can use this 3D scene as a mask to blur out the so basically you can use the camera blur in your scene. The way it works is that I just dragged in this composition, this composition that you can see it doesn't have any blur in it. It's called this bottle with background, and you just drag it into the scene. And for this scene, you have to add the CD channel extract, and you can find it basically here. It's called CD channel extract, and it is going to create basically like this black and white depth map from your CD scene, and you can edit this black point and white point, and then basically that's how you can determine the depth of the scene. You can work with this really well. And what you can do is that you can use this as what you can do is that for the composition that is under it, so basically these are the same compositions, both of them, but this one I just named blur, so I know the difference. And you have to add the camera lens blur to your scene, and here you can change the amount of blur you would like to have in the scene. And in the blur map, you just have to select the first scene that you changed with this CD channel. You have to select this scene, and then you have to select effects and masks, and then you're going to get this really nice effect that this is going to mask everything out. So here you see there is no blur mask, and if you choose this layer, then there is the blur, and the front of the bottle is sharp. So I think this is really cool. We don't need this layer at the moment. So just to show you one more time, CD channel extract on one of the compositions, and then camera lens blur, and you just have to change the blur map in this effect. So this is really useful. The next thing I wanted to show you is that you can actually create very complex animations with this. You can create really complex animations with this technique. So for example, I created this little animated banner with 4 different color variations, and I just added some text to it. And as you can see, the way the models are spinning, you can really nicely, like very well, see the surface of this 3D model, the plasticity and the textures and everything. I think it looks really great. And here you can see the 4 bottles next to each other. I will show you this scene. So what I did is that I just animated all the 4 bottles, and they have they have position keyframes basically. Here you can see they are just sliding in. But I wanted to create some reflections under my bottles on the background. Here you can see how it looks if you look carefully. So these are these little shadowy reflection kind of things. And the way I did it is basically I just added my models, and I just changed the rotation of these 3D models, so they are basically turned upside down. And in this scene, I basically just masked out this reflection, and added a Gaussian blur to this scene. And you can basically play around with this. And now you can see that it's a little bit like sharper. So basically it's absolutely up to you how you would like to do this, but I think it looks really nice. So basically, I also added the HDRI light into this scene, and also the camera, because I wanted to keep the same perspective and everything in my scene. So this is how it looks like, and also a brightness and contrast to make it a little bit darker, and then you just blend everything together. So here you can see, I also, for this project, I also use this animated background from the Maxon Studio capsules. It is one of these wavy background that is a little bit animated, and yeah, here you can see them. And basically I just put a color overlay on top of this, so these are changing the color. Okay, I can find it now. Then when you have too many layers in one scene. But basically that's how I created this animation, that you can see that it's masked out with a simple radial mask. So I think it turned out really well, this little animation. And now you know that basically you have all sorts of options to work with 3D models in After Effects, and it's really amazing. There is one more thing I wanted to mention, and that is how you can work with like 3D models, and how to turn them into like 2D layers, so you can apply all sorts of effect on them, and how I use the puppet tool to animate these little 3D models. So as you could see before, this is how my scene is set up. I have a camera and a light, and here is my GLB file. And basically what I would do is that I put it in a pre-comp. So I just pre-compose it and I just call it, this is gonna be called Puppet. And as you can see in this, we don't have the environment lights in this scene. So just to have the same lights, I just add my lights, HDRIs into this composition. And then here we can switch this off because we are not gonna need this anymore. Basically this is how it looks like, and what we can do is that we can apply puppet pins to this. Here you can find them, and what I would do, for example, that I would just drop a couple of points like here. This is just a very simple model. And then when you check the mesh, here you can see, if you open, here are your puppet pins. Oh, okay, I made a mistake. So it's better if you're at the beginning of your timeline, and then you get all these position keyframes right at where you want them, because now they are not really where I want them to be. I think it's okay. So now we have 5 puppet pins, and all 5 of these have a position coordinate. And basically with these little handles, you can animate these pins, and then you can just drag them, and then you can have this little funny movement, and then we go to the other way like this, for example. And if you want to go back to the base position, then you just basically have to copy these keyframes, like for example here. So okay, it's a little bit slow, obviously, but basically you can create this really cute wiggly animations with these puppet points. Like this, for example. Or if you don't want, if you would just want this to continue, then you can just copy paste this after each other a couple of times, and then it's gonna keep going. So I think it's really interesting that you can work with 3D models as they would be 2D layers. So you just have to basically pre-compose them, and then you can apply all sorts of effects on them. Oh yeah, and basically you can animate the 3D model in one of the compositions. So for example here, you can say that you would like this to turn around, and then you oh sorry, not scale. You would like this to rotate a little bit. So for example, you want this whole thing to rotate back and forth like this, and then we go back to here, maybe. And then as you can see that the model is animated in the 3D space and in the on this 2D layer at the same time. So basically, sky is the limit. What you can do with this technique. There is one more thing that I wanted to talk about, and that is basically that GLB files have animations. So like for example, if there is an embedded animation in the file, then you can use that as well in After Effects, which is really cool. Let's just add the camera. So here is our little vampire. I have to scale it up a bit. So when you import a GLB file that has animation in it, you just have to go to this animation options and select the animation that you want to play. And here we go. And you can see that for this, we absolutely did not leave After Effects, and we have this animated character. Oh, where did you go? And let's add the other environment light, for example. To this scene. So now we have even more realistic lights. Okay, so let's drop this back to this detergent scene. Maybe we can. Oh no, not here. Sorry, in this one. And now the detergent is dancing with the vampire together. Because why not? And here you can see that the vampire also casts some shadows in the scene. So let's check how this turned out. I think it's really fun. So you can see that this character casts also shadows on the same layer. It just looks really fun. So basically this is all that I wanted to mention in this video. If you have any questions, just drop it in the comments below and I will try to answer them as soon as possible. And thank you so much for watching and see you on the next one.